Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is sponsored in its entirety by the Southwest TV Translator Association and is supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network. Special thanks goes to manager of Southwest TV Translator Association, Wayne Johnson, for his guidance and assistance.
The News at Noon program is in the pilot stage, and we hope to bring a variety of news and commentary from the Four Corners region with input from you.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. And now here's the news. In a follow-up to a report last week, according to the Denver Post, the Colorado Supreme Court last Thursday declined to consider Governor John Hickenlooper's petition challenging the legality of Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman's lawsuit to stop implementation of federal climate change regulations. Legal experts said they doubted the action would bring a close to the dispute between Kaufman and Hickenlooper and predicted the governor would continue to press his case in a lower court in the state. The one-page order cited a 2003 Colorado Supreme Court ruling that stated appellate courts will not weigh in on such constitutional questions when an adequate and alternative remedy exists. Kaufman has made Colorado one of 24 states filing a joint lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency's plan, which President Barack Obama has called a step forward towards addressing climate change. She contends the Clean Power Plan is illegal because of conflicts with the Clean Air Act, as well as representing an overreach of federal authority. The Clean Power Plan calls on coal-burning power plants to cut carbon emissions nationwide by 32% by 2030 compared with 2005 levels. In Colorado, the plan requires a 28% reduction in overall carbon dioxide emissions by 2030 as measured against 2012 levels.
As reported in the Cortez Journal, a 66-year-old woman was sentenced to 4 years in prison this week after being convicted of importing more than $15,000 of crystal meth into Cortez. In custody at a sentencing hearing on Tuesday, December 1st, Darlene Fidel requested that she be placed on probation, apologizing to the court for getting mixed up in a criminal lifestyle. Arguing for leniency on Fidel's behalf, public defender Katie Whitney explained that her client lived a law-abiding life for 60 years, adding she succumbed to a life of crime only after her husband's death. Whitney added that Fidel experimented with methamphetamines only to be closer to a love interest, but the drug took control, causing her life to snowball out of control. According to authorities, Fidel and co-defendant, previously sentenced to 10 years in prison in connection to the case, rented a vehicle and drove to Phoenix to purchase the illicit drugs. The volume of methamphetamines in question had a street value of more than $15,000. Requesting a 2-year prison sentence, District Attorney Will First agreed that Fidel lacked any criminal history prior to 2011, but he indicated that she was more than just a drug addict. First noted that Fidel was also arrested on other charges this year, including theft after burglarizing a law enforcement officer's residence. First believes that Fidel should be removed from the community.
There's a bitter battle over whether local governments in Colorado should be able to ban oil and gas drilling rigs and fracking, and this issue will go before the state's highest court very soon. The Colorado Supreme Court will specifically hear from attorneys representing the state, energy companies, environmental groups, and the governments of Fort Collins and Longmont as voters and officials struggle with concerns over drilling rigs setting up new operations in what once were farm fields, but over the years have become home to towns, schools, and strip malls. And people from across the U.S. will be watching the outcome of the cases. The central issue is whether state officials have overreaching authority to regulate how energy companies drill for oil and natural gas in Colorado, or whether local governments should do it instead. State officials and members of the energy industry say the oversight authority rests with the state, which has the expertise and experience to do so. Matt Lepore, the director of the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, said, quote, "It's the state's position that there are technical aspects of oil and gas exploration and production over which the state has primacy as matters of statewide concern, and that under the law in Colorado as it exists today, a local jurisdiction may prohibit those activities." And state officials and energy executives have noted that the Colorado Supreme Court has already weighed in on this issue via 2 1992 cases. The rulings held that local governments couldn't preempt the state's need to ensure the efficient development of its resources. The Voss decision also overturned a voter-approved ban on drilling oil and gas wells in Greeley. The local governments in the current legal fight have argued that they have authority over what happens inside their jurisdictions and that the industry's technology has changed over the years, making the 92 decisions obsolete. Fort Collins officials also argue that their city's 5-year moratorium is different from a complete ban. The Colorado Supreme Court will rule based on Colorado law, but energy executives, local officials, and environmental groups across the nation are keenly interested in how the local battle plays out. The Colorado judge's ruling in the case would not be legally binding on other states, but there's active litigation on this issue in 5 or 6 other states, with Colorado being on the forefront. There's an awful lot of interest on this issue nationally on both sides. The court is expected to issue decisions on the cases in 2016.
In Cortez, a criminal justice student was recently arrested after allegedly stealing more than $5,000 from her employer. About 2 p.m. on December 1st, a Dollar Tree district manager called the Cortez Police Department to report an employee theft. According to a 2-page report, the manager told police that Kyla James, age and address undisclosed, admitted in a voluntary handwritten confession that she stole 2 bank deposits totaling $5,272.77 after working at the store for about a month. James was subsequently arrested and booked at the Montezuma County Jail for felony theft investigation. She is currently out of custody after posting a $2,500 bail. According to her Facebook page, James, a mother, was enrolled earlier this year at Utah State University Eastern, where she was studying criminal justice. In the alleged confession, James apparently admitted to stealing the deposits to make a car payment and purchase insurance. She also apparently admitted to stealing $100 in cash to buy gas and a pair of pants.
Supporters of several Southwest Colorado area nonprofits can leverage their donations by making their contribution on what is called Colorado Gives Day, which is taking place for 24 hours starting tonight at midnight, Monday, December 7th, and running through all of Tuesday. Community First Foundation organizes the event, founded in 2010. More than 1,800 nonprofits are included in the list online, where donations are made. Information about each nonprofit is also available on the website coloradogives.org. Donations made on this day will help the nonprofits earn a portion of the $1 million incentive fund. Also, a special drawing will be held for all the new participants in Colorado Gives who receive at least 30 donations that day. The prize will be $5,000. Colorado Gives Day has raised $83 million for Colorado nonprofits since its inception, including $26.2 million in 2014, more than $1 million each hour. Again, for those supporting specifically Colorado entities, you can go online to coloradogives.org to make a donation.
As reported in the Durango Herald, La Plata County road crews are widening the outward shoulder of Lightner Creek Road, County Road 207, to install a guardrail where a school bus carrying 42 elementary school children rolled down a 30 to 40-foot embankment last month. Crews have been working since Tuesday to widen the shoulder about 5 feet on a 300-foot stretch of the roadway's left northbound lane. Project Supervisor Gerard Giroux said that the widening will be complete Thursday and the road surface is not likely to change. The crew did not know when the guardrail would be installed, and the county engineering department did not immediately return calls seeking comment. Giroux said that the guardrail is going in specifically because of the November 17th rollover of a Durango School District 9R school bus whose driver was apparently distracted by noise when he veered off the road. Several students reportedly suffered injuries including a broken leg and broken clavicle. After the accident, school and law enforcement officials noted the narrowness of the road, which is about 9 feet wide. Traffic was slowed around the work area on Thursday, but the road remained open.
Most of the moisture that is now north and west of us will stay north of us here in Dolores County, with today being our best sunshine and the rest of the week mostly sunny or partly cloudy. Late Thursday into Friday's wee hours will be when our next moisture is to occur. More on that tomorrow. Now for our 5-day forecast image. Today's high expected to be 48 with a low of 26. Highs Tuesday through Thursday of 53. Lows from the lower 20s to the upper 20s, with Friday cooling to a high of 42 and Saturday to a touch cooler at 38, with Friday and Saturday lows in the mid and upper teens. Our regional satellite image, if you take a close look at that, as you can see from this cloud cover infrared image, things are busy, very busy for the Pacific Northwest and just getting to the upper Midwest plains. Just ahead of that front, Minnesota and Michigan are getting only a small break before this big northwest mass will move over them and the rest of the Northeast. There is more coming from way out west in the Pacific. Now for our national weather image. Heavy rain over the Pacific Northwest, heavy snow over the northern Cascades, light amounts to over adjacent portions of northern California. Heavy rain and higher elevation snow will develop over parts of the northern Intermountain region, Rockies, through late Monday night. On early Tuesday morning, the snow levels will rise over the Intermountain Rockies region, producing rain at the lower and moderate elevations, with snow at the highest elevations through Tuesday evening. One of the upper level impulses will be strong enough to develop a front over parts of upper Midwest on Tuesday afternoon into the evening. The system will produce rain over portions of the northern plains into parts of the upper middle Mississippi Valley on Tuesday. A dissipating front over the Ohio Valley and a developing front along the southern mid-Atlantic southeast coast will lead to rain over parts of the area today, ending on tomorrow morning. A lingering front near the southern tip of Florida will aid in producing light rain over the southern Florida area through Tuesday. Last week's CO2 average, November 29 through December 5th, 400.80 parts per million. 2 weeks ago, 400.37 parts per million. 1 year ago, 2014, 398.15 parts per million. And 10 years ago in 2005, 378.29 parts per million.
As reported in the Cortez Journal, at a meeting tonight, officials will interview candidates interested in filling 2 open seats on the Montezuma-Cortez RE1 school board. The interviews are included as the last agenda item on the school board's December meeting, which starts at 7 p.m. Tuesday, December 8th. Held at the former Downey Elementary School on North Elm Street, board meetings will last 2 hours or more. The posts were vacated after no residents filed qualifying papers in November's election. Term-limited board president Tim Lanier and retired board member Brian Demby previously held the now vacant school board seats. Those that are appointed to the board will serve 2-year terms. Also included on the board's agenda is a travel request for high school journalism students to attend a conference in California, a $5,400 expenditure request to install new melting mats at the new high school, and a policy discussion that would give parents the ability to exempt their students from assessment testing.
In today's society, the development of what is called the sharing economy is working its way through growing spurts these days. One such example is the use of ride shares, as seen in the profitable expansion of companies such as Uber or Lyft. Uber is using Denver as a test market for a program with enterprise car rental services that lets Uber drivers rent cars to use when picking up ride-sharing passengers. The aim is to help hundreds of new Uber drivers rent appropriate sedans. If it works, the program could spread to other cities. Uber drivers in the Denver area who are at least 25 years old and are eligible to rent from Enterprise to have access to four-door sedan models for around $210 a week plus taxes and fees. Nationally, Uber drivers can get discounts from most major car manufacturers to buy a new vehicle. Here in our local rural area, there is also a need for the ride-sharing concept, but perhaps in a less commercially structured way. from last week's DCTV's live discussion with the community regarding developing local projects in conjunction with the Colorado Trust. One such idea was brought up by a caller. As is done in other communities, coordinating a way to connect people who are headed to one town or another and have an open seat to offer with those needing a ride might be possible through a Facebook page or with local media such as this station. In various setups, the offer can be voluntary and free, or in some cases, passengers will pitch in with money for gas if the ride is longer. We are looking forward to seeing if such a system can be set up here out of Dove Creek, Colorado, to assist in making our very rural location more easy to navigate. If you have ideas or suggestions, you can post them on the message board outside the DCTV station in the lower level of the courthouse, or call us at 970-677-4119.
And now in sports. After sending 3 wrestlers to the state tournament last year, the Dove Creek Bulldogs have only 4 wrestlers out for the 2015-2016 season. Returning for the Bulldogs are Case Boffman, Ricky Adams, and Rhett Quackenbush, with newcomer Logan Myers rounding out the squad. While Myers is entering his first year, the other Bulldogs will bring valuable experience. Head coach Shane Boffman said all 3 returners have their sights on a state appearance, noting their performances at a camp in Las Vegas this summer. He explained how Boffman lost only 1 match to a California wrestler and that Quackenbush was the only Bulldog to go undefeated. He's got promise, Boffman said of the sophomore Quackenbush. He's got his goals pretty high. He wants to be a top 3 guy at state. Boffman acknowledged the team's small roster and believes the demands of the sport may be responsible for the low turnout. Wrestling is just a hard sport, and that's why a lot of kids are thinking twice, he said. It's a grueling season. But the 4 Bulldog wrestlers have been putting in the work preparing for their season opening tournament in Moab that started on December 4th.
Well, Santa sure is busy this time of year. Coming up on December 12th, the Galloping Goose Historical Society will host Santa for the local kids and families, and all are invited to the train depot and sit on the goose for story time, Santa time, treat bags, hot cocoa, cookies, and possibly caroling. That's located in the heart of Dolores, Colorado. Then, making spirits bright, the All-Town Lighting Contest offers residential and commercial entities opportunities to shine. Judging will take place on December 19th, with top winners earning credits on their electric bill or Dolores dollars. And here in Dove Creek, Colorado, don't miss tonight's Rock the Holidays from 5 to 7 p.m. presented by Reaching Out to Community and Kids, ROCK. Everyone is invited to come out and see Santa for a picture and gift. Bring your letters so Santa can respond. There will be Christmas carols by Kelly Turner and plenty of hot cocoa, and again featuring an annual marshmallow roast. This event is sponsored by the DC Rat Rod Nationalists and FM 98.7 KRTZ. The Rock location is 128 Highway 491.
Again, thanks for tuning in. Now you can re-watch the broadcast on YouTube at the DCTV News at Noon channel. For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.